Hi there, it's Kathleen back with you, and today I have another process video for the Hip Kit Club, and this one is for the Moodboard inspired. This is the Moodboard for October, and I was inspired by the leaves, of course, and also by the circles or kind of dots in the upper left corner, and this, well, it reminded me of a wreath in the lower left corner. So I thought of this paper right here, and until now I think everybody has made some kind of a wreath layout with this, and I also wanted to give it a go. But what I chose to do is I cut the inside of this wreath and I kept the leaves intact that were in the inside, as you can see here. So I cut around them using an X-Acto knife, and you can see here that was when I was done, so I didn't want to make you watch me cut all of this. And then I will also, so now I want to back this circle that I have left with some kind of pattern paper. Sometimes I like to do really big photos, but I had already chosen my photos and they are two smaller ones, you will see them in a bit. So I wanted a pattern paper, and I really like this blue and white striped one from Pinkfish Studio, but in the end, I also like this one, this mustard yellow, but it was a bit too bright, I think. So at first I was thinking about this, and here you can see my photos, because for this project I also had to focus on the theme of all about me. And you can see that these are photos of me, or, well, one is of me, one is of my feet, and yeah, the one of me was actually taken by my husband. Yeah, photographing me when I was actually taking the photo of my feet, you know, Instagrammers on the road. So yeah, and what I'm doing now is I also cut around some of the leaves that were on the other side of the wreath, but only a few of them, so that I would be able to kind of pull them up a little bit, and then you would be able to see the pattern paper behind it. You can see right here what this looks like, or I will show you up close in a bit. But right now you can see, well, what it's going to look like in the end. And yeah, so now I'm just playing around with the ephemera. So I'm using the September 2018 hip kits, and I'm using the main kit, the embellishment kit, and that's it. I'm not using any other kits for this project. And yeah, so I'm sorting through the die cuts. I didn't want to add too much because, of course, the wreath and the paper behind it are already quite dominant, but I still wanted to have some little bits and pieces added in. So I used this Moments Are More Important Than Things die cut from Pinkfish Studio Indigo Hills 2, and a little camera next to my smaller photo. Then I'm also playing around with these kind of leatherette yeah, tassel thingies from Amy Tangerine, but I won't use them in the end. I do like how they look right here, but I don't know, 1 seemed a bit lonely, 2 didn't seem right, and 3 were too much, so I will take them off in a second. So yeah, as I said, the theme was all about me. And well, that's something I, you know, do very often, of course. When we are traveling, I'd like to take photos of all of the details, like me standing on a beach. And it was actually perfect that my husband took that photo of me taking this photo, so that I also have something to document this. So yeah, now I didn't find any other die cuts I could use because they were all too busy for what I have right here. So I thought I would try to make my photos stand out a little bit more and kind of lift them up a little bit. So I found this large chipboard frame from the Pinkfish Studio collection, and I'm going to place it behind my larger photo, and it doesn't bother me that it's a bit smaller than my photo. That's alright with me. Yeah, and now because, you know, I kept pushing things around, and I don't know, it was driving me crazy a little bit, so now I decide to actually stick that wreath paper to my background paper, and normally I would cut out, you know, like the circle that I would use to back the circle of the wreath paper. But since I also cut around some of the leaves that were sticking out and wanted them to be backed with the pattern paper as well, I'm going to use the whole sheet of pattern paper. And I'm glad I have two of these because I also have the, you know, the paper kit, so I can actually, I have another one to use. So yeah, and another trick is to only pull up the backing of the double-sided tape on one side so that you can stick that down first, and then pull up the backing on the other side so that, you know, it doesn't get stuck down crooked right away. So you have some time to move things around until it's right. And I only adhered the upper paper to the other one around the edges because I wanted to be able to put some things like my photos, for example, a little bit well, behind the first or the top layer, so to say. And in a bit I will add some foam adhesive behind the top layer, but you will see what I mean in a second. So here you can see that I'm sticking my photo behind the top paper a little bit, and since I have some blank space on my photo, or well, not blank, but you know, white space on my photo, I can actually layer things on top and it doesn't cover up anything important on my photo, like the leaves and the flower on the left side. And here you can see what I mean. So I'm cutting up some foam tape and then just sticking it around my wreath, well, behind the wreath, to have it, to lift it up a little bit and give it some dimension. And since I didn't exactly know where I would put my photos and everything right from the beginning, I didn't put the foam adhesive when I adhered my top paper to the other one. But you could of course also do that if you already know where you're going to put things. And yeah, I'm actually not going to do a lot more on this layer because I feel like the paper really does all the work for me here, or the papers. I'm only going to use some of these rub-ons. I think they are really, really cute, and there are some little hearts on there, kind of rose gold. So I'm going to add some around my page and, you know, have them kind of added to the sprinkles that were already on the wreath paper. I think they fit in really well. And it was also another reason why I was inspired to use this paper, because on the mood board you could see in the top left corner there were some circles or dots, which reminded me of those sprinkles on this pattern paper here. And in the lower right corner there were also some leaves on the mood board that were kind of ruffled up and kind of dimensional. So that was what made me think of cutting out the leaves and kind of adhering them with foam tape. Now I'm adding some more of the hard rub-ons and one of the yellow ones next to this really small, well, I wouldn't even call it a cluster, but the camera die cut and this chipboard piece. And then my camera just stopped filming, so you missed me adding my title, but that's nothing too exciting. So I just added my title that says Instagram husband at work, because, you know, that is a title I've never used and I think it fit. It fit nicely around the circle. I was able to actually make a long title. I really like long titles, I just can't think of them really often. So I'm happy to be able to use one when I can, or when I actually think of one. And these flower stickers right here from the Maggie Holmes Willow Lane collection were included in the Hip Kit August main kit. So if you got that kit, you also have these stickers, and I really love them because you can build flower clusters with these leaves and flowers in different colors, different sizes. So this is a really nice sticker sheet. I would love to have like a dozen of them because you can add them to any kind of project and they add the perfect little details. So I'm just using some around my wreath. I'm adding some on top of the wreath paper, some behind it to add even more dimension. Oh, and I also added some foam tape behind the leaves that I cut around, like on the outside of the wreath. I added some foam tape there as well so that they wouldn't lay down flat. I don't know, you know what I mean. So yeah, just adding a few more flowers off camera. I will add some Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine and actually nothing more, or no more splatters, because there were already a lot of splatters on the page. So here you can see the dimension and what I was talking about. So the leaves stick up really nicely and you can see the blue pattern paper behind them. Here's a look at the finished layout. You can see I only added some gold splatters in the top left and lower right corner. Here you can see the dimension. And I didn't add journaling. I'm still thinking of maybe going back and adding some journaling in the lower right corner, but I'm not sure yet. So I might do that. Yeah, I hope you liked this layout. I hope you enjoyed watching, and thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, hope to see you again soon. Bye.